I have the very, very special honor of introducing our very first speaker for the evening. This is a guy who's from Colorado Springs, Pine Creek High School graduate, two-time state champion from Nebraska, All-American. He's a rookie linebacker for the Indianapolis Colts, so let's make some noise for JoJo Domann coming out right now.
Hello, hello, hello. What a great intro, Travis. Like you said, I'm JoJo Domann. I grew up right up the street in Briargate, went to Pine Creek High School, have an unbelievable family, and my mom, Teddy, and my dad, Craig, my sister, Riley, and my brother, Brock, who's in Louisville right now. So shout out to you guys for helping getting me to where I am right now. Man, I don't really have a lot of practice at this, and that's the beauty of it. Right? Life throws us in situations where we're kind of just put on the spot, and it's how you're going to react in that moment. So here I am with you guys. So let's do this. Now, something that I hold near and dear to my heart that I've discovered at my time at Nebraska through a lot of ups and downs was mindfulness. And if you knew me growing up, you knew I was off the wall, crazy, couldn't stand still, running into walls, tackling people, a lot like my little cousin Ty. I don't know if he's out here right now, but once I started exploring this thing called mindfulness, my life started to shift in a positive direction. I started to see the power that I had within me to create the life I wanted to live. And it wasn't about attaching myself to what I wanted. It was about being who I knew I was. And that's why I want to start tonight off with a mindfulness practice. Everybody here is here for a reason, right? Nobody drove all the way to Calvary Community Center just for the heck of it. Everyone came here for a purpose, looking to get something out of tonight. And to fully receive the gift of life, we have to be present, which means we have to remove that little voice in our head that never shuts up. And that can be tough sometimes. Not to say that voice isn't purposeful, because it is. Everything that grows in nature has a purpose. So it's never about saying, oh, this part of me isn't me. No, it is part of you. How do you accept it and love it and then compartmentalize it and give it a voice when it deserves a voice, and then turning it down when it's time to turn it down? So with that being said, if you would trust me and take a leap of faith with me, let's all close our eyes. And let's all just take a deep breath through the nose and hold at the top. Really just feeling our heart beating in our chest, feeling the air in our lungs, and letting it out. Taking another deep breath. Bringing in gratitude, love, and joy for this moment into our hearts. Feel that. Feel that heart beating and let it out. Take another deep breath. Tell that analytical mind you'll get back to him later. This time is for us right now, and let it out. One more breath. Connecting to your intention for coming tonight. The deeper why of why you got yourself off the couch, got in the car, and came here tonight. And let it out. Open your eyes, return to your body. How you guys doing? I'm Joe Hansen. Nice to meet you all. Now that we're all here. I don't know if that felt as good for you as that felt for me, but my heart was beating when I came up here, and now I'm cool. And so I guess the first thing I wanted to touch on tonight was this concept. This concept is going to come full circle multiple times. This concept that life is not happening to you. It's happening for you. And when I created this shift in my perception of my reality, in the circumstances, in the life events, in my relationships, in football, everything started to shift. I started to learn and grow from every little thing that happened, that I experienced, that I went through. And also what my friends went through, what my teammates went through, what my parents and my siblings have been through. It creates when you have the perspective that life is happening not to you, but for you, every experience now becomes a teacher of what can I learn about myself, what can I learn about life itself in every experience, in every moment. So, and I'm going to take you guys all the way back to 2017. I am a sophomore at Nebraska, and I played as a true freshman, and going into my sophomore year in spring ball, I'm running to the ball, and basically my brain thought the ground was a millimeter farther than it was, and my leg locked out, and non-contact tore my ACL. And my whole world just started spinning, right? I can't even walk. I need help out of bed. I need help to go to the bathroom in the hospital. And I had to ask myself for the first time in my life, who am I without football? And that question has changed my life, because football is what I do. It's not who I am. And that identity shift created this JoJo who's just a football player to this JoJo. And we're all here. And all it takes is us realizing and remembering who we really are, where we came from. We're spinning on a rock, and we're spinning around this burning star. And if we were 1 foot closer to this star, no life on earth could be sustainable. And if we were a foot farther from this star, no life would be sustainable. So life is not happening to you, it's happening for you. This experience of life in and of itself is a miracle. Amen? So now the question becomes, how can we take that awareness into our everyday lives? That's the challenge, right? That's the journey. Things happen. Things happen. Another thing that happened was I was at Nebraska for 6 seasons, 5.5 years. 2 head coaching changes, 3 defensive coordinators, 5 position coaches. It was as unstable as it gets, and I had every opportunity to leave. But I didn't. I felt called to making a difference and making an impact in that community. And so going into my super senior year, not even my senior year, my super senior year, I took a leap of faith all off season in being that leader, being that vocal and emotional, spiritual leader for my teammates, for the locker room. So not only would it impact, hopefully, the result, but it would impact those men, because I felt like my heart needed to be heard, that it deserved to be shared. And I couldn't hold this in anymore. All this love and compassion and passion in my heart didn't deserve to be locked up anymore. It was time to release it. So I did. I was vulnerable. I sacrificed. I gave to my teammates. I served. But when that time came around where captains were voted, I was not named a captain. I was at Nebraska longer than my head coach. I was the only tenured player or staff member in the whole entire program that had played in a bowl game. And I'm here pouring my heart and soul into this program, and I didn't get the recognition I thought I deserved. And in that moment, I was faced with a dilemma. Do I close off and just focus on me? Say, screw those guys, I'm just gonna get mines? Or do I double down on what I actually believe? And I'll never forget when I was out on that field after they named the captains. I stayed out there. I took a minute to myself. And we were having a fan practice where fans came into the stadium and watched. And so everyone headed back into the locker room while the fans poured in. I stayed out there. And honestly, I shed some tears out in that stadium. I was asking God why. I was asking God how could you, right? Where's the love in this? Where's the purpose in this? And as I kind of gathered myself, I started to walk off the field, and I walked past all of the fans pouring in. And the love, the connection, the smiles on their faces when I took the time to just sign something or take a picture, reminded my heart why I do this and why it is worth being vulnerable and open for your purpose, no matter if you're recognized for it or not. And I go on that season, and I thought I was turned. I turned that thing up. I was unfiltered. I was going crazy. They started looking. They were like, "Where's JoJo at pregame? Like, where he at, though? We want to hear his heart, right? Let's give us some of that energy. Give us some of that passion, right?" And it goes back to the life is not happening to you. It's happening for you. Not being named a captain allowed me to lead authentically and genuinely. It allowed me to find my voice, and it allowed me to persevere in the face of adversity and suppression, rather than being a yes man and thinking about, what would a captain do right now? What should a captain say right now? It was all led from the heart. Life is not happening to you, it's happening for you. And so my senior year goes by, best 3-9 team of all time. Just putting that out there. Best 3-9 team of all time. Man. And then I go through this rigorous draft process where people are analyzing you, judging you, telling you you're too this, you're too that, you're too small, you're too slow, everything under the sun. They're analyzing and judging, right? And you're just under this microscope, and everything you do is hyper-analyzed. And everything that you do in your physical makeup, they think that's who you are. And man, are they wrong? They have it backwards. And so I go through this process, and I was hearing things from teams, from my agent/dad, and we're thinking anywhere as high as 3rd, as low as 6th. And as I'm watching the draft, the 3rd round goes by. I felt my heart skip, oh, here it comes, end of the 3rd round, here it comes, nothing. Early Saturday, 4th round, I'm definitely coming off the board by 11 a.m. This is going to be great. We're gonna get drafted. We're going to go enjoy ourselves. Nothing. 5th round goes by, nothing. I start scratching my head, what's going on? 6th round goes by, nothing. At that moment, I just had this intuition in my gut telling me, if it ain't now, I don't think it's happening. So I got out of town. I rallied the boys. I grabbed the draft party. I said, we got to go. We got to go. I can't sit here and wait any longer. So we end up going to the golf course, playing 18 holes, and that's when I got the call from my dad. And he goes, I've been on the phone with the Colts 5 times in the last 30 minutes. If you don't go here in the last 30 picks, we're going to Indy. And I just remember my heart just being yeah, we're going to Indy. We're going to Indy. And just how beautiful that was, how life seems when it seems like everything's not going your way, or it seems like your back's up against the wall, or you've trained so hard. You literally, the last 6 months of my life were dedicated to this moment, and it was empty. It was empty. But it wasn't. It wasn't empty. I had my blinders on. In the moment, it was oh, this is happening to me. But it allowed me to pick my location. I'm learning from the best long snapper in the world. I'm going to be the best long snapper in the world in 3 years. Amen? Right? I'm in an unbelievable organization with an unbelievable front office, with a senior-led team. Matt Ryan, right? Buckner. We got Tony Brown in the back. I got unbelievable human beings that play the game of football, and I get to learn from them. I'm like a sponge out there. And all of that is possible because this thing I expected to go right seemingly went wrong. But who's to say what's right or wrong in the moment? Life is not happening to you. It's happening for you. The last thing I'll leave you with is so what do you do with this? What do you do with this perspective? Right? Okay, life's happening for me, not to me, okay? What now? It's where focus goes, energy flows. What you resist persists. What you resist persists. And what you let go of dissipates and dissolves. So if you're not happy with where you're at, if just your circumstances don't match your intention or your worth, if you know you're worth more than where you're at right now, or you want to be happier than you are right now, do something about it in the most humble, surrendered way possible. Surrendering to the infinite capacity. Our universe is not infinite. Our universe is infinitely expanding. It is not infinite. I believe our souls are just like the universe, infinitely expanding. I also believe that once we join with Source, with God, that is the only time we ever become infinite with Him. So it's been an absolute pleasure speaking with you all. I love the intentionality. I love the focus. I feel it all right now, and I thank you for that. Thank you, guys.
That's awesome, JoJo. Much. Man, absolutely incredible. Just to hear his story and to hear how he fought through adversity.